Hello and welcome. Apologies before we begin. I'm recovering from a really bad sore throat. So, just in case you hear any sniffles, that's why. I'm not trying to be unprofessional. I'm just trying to keep this show on the road. Oh, excuse me. Now this is something I wanted us to talk about a very long time ago. I think I wanted to talk about this about a month or maybe 2 months ago. I just found my notes. So, we're going to get to it now. And the problem I want us to tackle today is this. Um, all right, so we're focused on sales here, right? And lots of us who listen to these episodes are whether currently self-employed, you're a business person, you're a CEO, you have other people selling on your behalf, or maybe you're an employee, you sell for someone else, or hopefully you intend to get into business at some point in the future. So for all the other people that I mentioned, you've been in situations where you're talking to someone and the person says, "Oh, yeah, check back with me. Check back with me next month. Check back with me next week. Let's check back. Let's circle back. Well, let's touch base. Holla at me. Oh, we go see now. No holla, no holla. Anyhow, anyhow. All those kinds of comments. And, excuse me, a lot of you assume that that is good. And for those of you who are just getting ready to go into business, when you hear that kind of thing, you will think it's good. When somebody tells me like, all right, no problem now, MD no day, I suppose it go come like next week, just check back like next week, just check back, check back. When you hear check back, you say you think it's good. When you hear circle back, you think it's good. When you hear no problem now, more touch base, you think it is good. Why you holla me now? This na your WhatsApp number, Abi. I don't know holla. You think it's good. Now, sometimes all these things, circle back, check back, touch base, holla me, you go be, you know, we go yarn. Sometimes it can be good. But a lot of times, when you hear these things, they're masking a huge problem. And the problem is that the deal is not really moving forward. You haven't gotten an advancement. An advancement is when one party and another party, both of you mutually agree that this is what we're going to do to move this thing forward. When both of you have an advancement, now you know you're making progress. So for those of us, men, okay, and of course women, you remember now, back in the university days now, when, love was still hot. You go on a date with somebody. The guy is escorting you back to your hostel. So as a guy, we remember that situation now. You tell the baby you had fun. She too, she smiles. She says she had fun. You say you like to do this again. And she's like, she doesn't mind. If at that point two of you go your separate ways, maybe you've not made progress. It looks like you've made progress because you smile, she smile. But are you guys exclusive? Are you meeting again? Like, really, honestly, you don't know. And then for girls, you remember that whole situation. You thought you and the guy had a good time. The guy escorted you to your hostel. He said, "I'm having fun." You two say, "I'm having fun." He said, "We should do this again." You smile. Then the guy give you a hug and then two of you just go your way. And you're thinking, okay, is this progress or not? If in 2 days you now see that same guy following Kemi, you'll be confused. But then yourself, you also know that, well, you had fun, but it's not as if you agreed on anything. And then likewise too, as the guy, if in 3 days' time you see her following Femi, well, you will know that, well, it's your fault. It's not as if you tied down anything. But then, oh, I had fun, you had fun. I'd like to do this again some other time. Yeah, sure. How about next week, Friday? Are you free? If she says yes, progress. Now we're moving forward. Now, even as a lady, when the guy proposed like that, progress. We're moving forward. There's a next step. There's an advancement. It's the same thing in business. If we they follow ourselves, with the yarn, we're discussing. But then we end and say, and check back, circle back, touch base, holla me. Then WhatsApp number be this, abi? No holla. You go B. That's not really progress. If you hear you go B, then by the time you circle back, you say, "Oh, we went with somebody else." Well, you're angry. Who are you angry at? Angry at them? You didn't tie anything down now. The guy just said ego B. You're the one who now took ego B to mean is something good. Oh, sorry. For those of you who are not Nigerians listening to the podcast, ego B is how okay, ego B. How will I translate it now? Ego B. Is it like it will happen, or let's see what's up, or let's see as it goes? Ego B. Let's see as it goes. So if somebody says ego B, the person has said is, let's see how it happens. Let's see how it goes. Let's just be going. Let's see. That's not a firm commitment. So if somebody tells you ego B today, or holla me today, so I check back now, like around that kind of 2 weeks. They tell you that today. You come back in 2 weeks, they've moved on. Don't be angry. The person is not a liar. The problem is you didn't tie anything down. You thought you were making progress. And sometimes it is progress when somebody says check back in 2 weeks. But until you have an advancement, this deal, it's not really moving forward. So, excuse me. So, when I wanted us to discuss this last week, so I said last week, like last month or maybe 2 months ago, came up with an example. Let's say we have a founder, Tunde, who runs a fintech. And what they do is they do bespoke investment services for people. They come up with a bespoke portfolios for different companies. They come, they look at your company, and they tell you that, oh, okay, they'll manage your finances and they'll invest them like this, invest them like that, that kind of thing. So let's say Tunde he's like an asset manager, sort of. So he runs a fintech, but they're into asset management. Excuse me. Yeah, so that's the kind of example that I wanted to use. So now, in this kind of setup now, because there are a number of my clients who, this is the level that they're at. You have a fintech, you have some startup, whatever idea, but right now you are the main guy, you are the rainmaker. When we say rainmaker, we mean the person who opens doors. Now you they open doors, now you they bring deals. So it's normal in the beginning. Now in this case, because it's asset management, this is not the kind of thing that will close, sharp. So let's say it takes maybe like 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, whatever, to close a particular deal. Now let's say Tunde now has book a meeting with one company, and he goes to meet with the CFO, the chief financial officer, because I'm assuming that if you're in this kind of business, because you suppose, you try and toast the chief financial officer or maybe a member of the board or something. You try and toast them before you can get them to, before you secure the deal. For those of you who sell insurance, you know how this thing is now. So you're trying to get into maybe like Ministry of Finance or something. Know how. Before they allow you to make presentation to the people who are supposed to retire this year. You must talk to HOD, head of department. Who else? If you know somebody in DG's office, it might not be a bad idea. All these kind of moves. So definitely, Tunde, you have to talk to somebody. Now this is the problem that happens. Because people like Tunde, the first time founder, first time CEO, you're not really good at sales. When you go there, the conversation will just be unstructured. Like you have an agenda, but sometimes things just go off track and you won't know how to bring it back. There's one salesperson that I'm working with right now, and that's a problem. Because she said, oh, this particular madam, let's just say her name is Madam Kemi. So anytime I call Madam Kemi, the conversation is nice and blah, blah, blah. And in fact, the last time we spoke, her credit finished. I called her back. My credit finished, blah, 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 blah. But I can't just seem to close this deal. So, these things happen. They happen. You start talking about business. Before you know it, industry gossip. Then next thing, political debate. Tinubu, you're a Tinubu person. Oh no, Peter Obi, this, that, Nigeria, blah, blah, blah. By the time you talk, send me proposal. I say, no problem. I'll send you proposal. Then the CFO will say, check back in 2 weeks, or check back in 2 months, or let us circle back after our management retreat. We're going for a management retreat in Lagos. Let us circle back after management retreat. Or let's touch base in about 4 or 5 weeks. So don't worry, you send me the email, I'll be no problem. I will holler you. This is your WhatsApp number, Abi, and we'll be in touch. So that's the kind of meeting now that Tunde, brand new CEO, by the time he gets home and his wife says, babe, how's the meeting? Tunde will say, the meeting? Beautiful. Was wonderful. In fact, I like the guy's political perspective on this, that. Me, I was thinking Tinubu, but by the time he said this, I was now seeing the reason why Peter will be something, something, something. Oh, do you know the guy who went to our school? Yeah, yeah, yeah. He finished from University of Leeds. You know, and blah blah blah. So, babe, I think this is a good one. I think this is a good one. Meanwhile, honestly speaking, there's nothing we can look at, nothing we can point at right now to say this was a good meeting or this was a bad meeting. Because check back, circle back, touch base, holla me. Now WhatsApp be this. Okay, now your email number be this, Abi. Oh, this is your personal number. Yeah. Okay, no holla you go be. All those things. That's not a sign of progress. In fact, I tell people if we don't have an advancement, if we don't have a next clear step about what we're going to do next, just assume you're not making progress. So, the main problem is Mr. Tunde, or if you find yourself in Mr. Tunde's situation, main problem is you you've not been scheduling the next steps, and you need to learn how to do that. So whenever you're in that whole circle of check back, check back, circle back, we'll touch base, I'll send you message, now email number be this, you go be or holla me, you know. We go see now. Like I think. You dey come church Sunday. Yeah, no problem. After service, after service. See, when you are in the middle of all those things, you need to start um narrowing it down. Let's check back in about 3 weeks. Narrow it down. 3 weeks. Oh, okay, cool. 3 weeks. Okay, today is the first, so that means like around 21st of January. Like, is that good for you? Start narrowing down. Somebody says circle back. Say, no, Allah, no problem. Now, yeah, I'll circle back. Sure. When are you free? You ask the person. Begin to narrow down. More touch base. Yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah, we'll touch base. Cool. So that means I can send you a WhatsApp message to confirm, right? Yeah. Essentially, when the person says touch base, you're trying to figure out what does he mean by touch base. So more touch base. Okay, no problem. So I can send you a WhatsApp message, right? Yeah, sure. Okay, management retreat. That's around 18th. Cool. Also, you'll be back in Lagos around that kind 21st, 22nd. Okay, cool. So if I send you message 25th just to find out how far, share that's okay. You see, you're narrowing things down. It doesn't mean the deal will close, but you're trying to put a date specific on the table. If you can, put an agenda specific on the table. Excuse me. And these are much more stronger signs to let you know that you are making progress. Sorry about that. So it's a problem. You've not been scheduling. Then plus, if you're not able to propose some kind of agenda, definitely people will ghost you because nobody likes taking phone calls that you don't know the reason why. Think about it. The last time you were chilling with your popsy, for those of you whose fathers are still alive, and one of your uncles was calling from the village, and your father looked at the phone and then hissed, then he turned the phone upside down. The reason why popsy didn't pick is because popsy doesn't know, like, okay, this guy in the buzz again. Why? Excuse me. Now, there are some calls that popsy will pick immediately. And then there's some calls that like popsy will like, ugh. He will now cover the phone. Same thing with your mom. In fact, same thing with you. There are some phone calls, people in the office, people from the village, or people from church, or people from committee, people from whatever. There's some calls you don't want to pick because you don't know why is this person buzzing me, and I don't want the hassle. So that's why we should try and determine the agenda ahead of time. People don't like unstructured phone call, unstructured meeting. If you decide now ahead of time why you're going to get in touch next week, very good. You increase the chance that when you buzz, somebody actually pick up your phone and you guys can have a conversation. So there are a couple of uh how will I put it now? Couple of techniques, if I can put it that way, that you can use to do some of these. So there's a sales training methodology called Sandler. Sandler, Sandler. I can't remember if the guy's name, if the guy who originated was Sandler. I have to go and check. I don't really follow their methodology per se, but I like some of the stuff that they come up with. And one of those things that they do, they call it like an upfront contract. That's what they call it. An upfront contract is just like pre-meeting. It's like pre-meeting gist. Some people call it value contract. That's the whole thing of you're about to sit down in this engagement or the next engagement, and you now kind of lay the groundwork about how the engagement will going to go. So you tell the person whether it's a physical meeting, whether it's by email, by WhatsApp, by phone call, or whatever. You tell the person, look, I'd like to respect your time, and so because of that, there are three main points I'd like to cover with you. This, and that. Are you cool with that, or does that align with this particular thing you guys are working on? Once you tell somebody like that ahead of time, if it's this present meeting, you tell them that, okay, look, you know what? Thanks for taking the meeting. I'd like to respect your time. These are the three main things I want to cover while we're in the meeting today. Is there anything else you think should be on the agenda? This person will know that, look, we're in for a focused conversation. And by the time you start the meeting on a very strong note like that, by the time you're with Mr. CFO and Mr. CFO is talking industry gossip and people are shouting about Tinubu and this and this and that, before he gets to send proposal, you can say, oh, you know, Mr. CFO, don't mind myself. All these politics things, it make my blood boil. But, Chief, I promised you at the beginning that we'll discuss 1, 2, 3. So you just remain in this one. We'll just wrap it up real quick, so I won't take up too much of your time. We'll keep it focused and aligned around the issues. And then by the time we're ending the meeting, when they say, oh, send me a proposal, check base, circle back, holler me, blah, blah, blah. So sure, no problem. I will send it. I will send you an email, just like you said. But just to respect your time and so that, I don't keep following up with you anyhow. When I send the email restating this is this, I'm hoping that from that point, we should be able to move on to this stage, that stage. Are you cool with that? Or are you okay with that? If the person says yes, okay, no problem. We're now getting some control about what the agenda should be. Then when we now agree on the timing, okay, I'll send the email by Friday. If everything is cool, I'm sure we should be talking by Monday to see if we can move on to the next step. That kind of thing. You can see that you're locking it up. Sorry, I say lock up. You're locking it down. You're tying down the agenda, and then you're locking up the schedule. So by the time you do it like that, that is when you know for sure that, okay, you're making progress with this business deal. Then, when you're talking to the other person, you will not be giving all these things you're doing, will not be giving that person a signal that, look, this is a valuable meeting that I'm going for. It will also signal to the other person that you're a credible professional, because Nigerians, we do business anyhow. The very fact that you're the one who is doing business like this, you stand apart from the other people. You're different. And this is what I mean when I tell Nigerian professionals and Nigerian salespeople and business owners that the product is all the same or the service is all the same. You have to be the distinguishing factor. So the solar panel that you're selling is the same solar panel other people are selling. If you sell digital gadgets, the same Bluetooth keyboard, the same headset, the same laptop you're selling, it's the same that everybody else is selling. The distinguishing factor has to be you. The way you handle this meeting, you should just stand apart, different in that person's head, so that the next time you call and he sees your number, we're like, oh, that's that sharp guy that I spoke to last week, or that's that correct babe that I spoke with last week. They pick your call because they know that this person is a professional. So, sorry for all the sniffling. Sorry, I already warned you guys. Sorry about that. When I have a bit more money, I'll make sure that I'll pay an editor to be removing all this fume and all the coughing. So, all these techniques that we're talking about now, you're supposed to do them live while you are on the call. So, scheduling, you're supposed to do it while you are on the call. Trying to get an advancement, you do it while you're on the call. Because if the person says, holla me, you say, no problem. You cut it. Trying to now fix the next appointment after you have cut the call, it will be hard. You call, he missed your call, you send message, he didn't see it or he saw it on time, he responded you didn't see it on time. We become messy. We do this thing live. Now that I'm on the phone with this person, I will schedule and I will gain an advancement. I'll propose the next step. If it's face-to-face meeting, before I leave this conference room, we'll agree on the agenda, we'll agree on the time, and we'll agree how and when and where we're going to see, what we're going to discuss. We'll agree it now, live. In fact, in traditional sales, they say BAM FAM. BAM FAM is an acronym. BAM FAM. BAM FAM just means book a meeting from a meeting. I'm in a meeting now. The next meeting that I'm going to get, I will book it now. That's what BAM FAM means. Book a meeting from a meeting. That's the scope. Our next meeting, our next agenda, our next appointment, our next whatever, I will book it now that we are on this call. If you finish the meeting, the guy say, let me go and drop you. Which side are you going? Let me drop you. As we are in the car, I will book the next engagement. So if somebody says, let's be in touch, that's not progress. Let's be in touch is not progress. What does that mean really? Let's be in touch. Okay, when shall I be in touch? When I'm in touch, what will we now discuss? That's not progress. Those of you who are big boys, you say, oh, my secretary will call your PA, or my PA will be in touch with your PA, or my orderly will call your orderly. It sounds nice to say, but is that progress? My orderly will call your own orderly. When? My PA will call your own secretary. When? When my PA liases with your own secretary, like, what would they discuss? Like, it's not progress. It sounds pretty cool to say. And I can't wait to be in that situation when I'll tell somebody, oh, my PA is going to be in touch. But that's not progress. Let's talk in a month. That's not progress. Let's talk in a month. When? Is that 28 days or 25 or 36 or 31? When? So remember, we do this thing live. Bam fam, book a meeting from a meeting. So let's pretend now that you're leaving the guy's office and say, Atunde, where are you going? It's okay, no problem. It's around my way. Let me just drop you. So while you're in the car with this person, use the last 5 minutes. Say, okay, sir, based on our conversation, I think we should do this, and this next. What do you think, sir? Then you hear what he has to say. That's how you wind up this conversation. The last 5-10 minutes, you wind it up like that. So, sir, based on everything that we spoke, I think we should do this and this next. I'm free next week, Tuesday by 10 a.m. How about you, sir? You ask. If you try and do this thing by WhatsApp or by email, it's going to take you 3 days to fix the next meeting. Because, like I said, you send email, you won't see on time. He will respond you won't see on time. You will send WhatsApp, you won't see it, and then the thing gets messy. Like there was one guy I was talking to, that's on behalf of my client anyway, the marketing specialist. I think we sent like 8 messages before we fixed the first meeting. No, seriously. It took us about 4 days, 8 messages before we fixed them. See how time has gone. 4 days. Is it not 1 week already? 4 days now, 1 week now. I mean, 7 days makes a week, but I'm just saying in practical terms, if you've missed 4 days, essentially you've missed 1 week. We need to gain momentum while the interest is fresh, where everybody's interested, where everybody's body is hot. So, if you're in like Tunde's situation, or like this other salesperson that I'm coaching, who, whenever she's talking to this particular person, let's say her name is Miss Kemi, Miss Kemi keeps talking on and on and on, and they talk about all kinds of things, but they don't make action. It's very simple. You just course correct during the meeting. You acknowledge, you affirm, and then you pivot. You acknowledge. The CFO is talking to me and say, yeah, Mr. CFO, honestly, I appreciate, this, the way that Tinubu just changed this CBN chairman, honestly, and then this new minister, honestly, I understand, sir. Nigeria now, so that's how these things are. So if you acknowledge your affirm, but then you pivot, you say, sir, these people, they've solved their own daily bread. It's time for us to sort our own. No? And honestly, sir, our own now is this platform that we want to now implement for you people. If we automate this thing, it's going to be allocating all the funds well. from your businesses. So the main thing that we need to do, sir, is I think the next time we see is we're supposed to have a meeting and just discuss investment criteria so that when we're rolling out this platform, you know, we'll roll it out well. We'll meet you people's goals. You see, that's how you do it. You don't let that whole Tinubu CBN conversation go for too long. Acknowledge it, affirm it, and you refocus. I say, yes, sir. Oh, CBN governor. Oh, yes, it's true. The new minister, blah, blah, blah. Sir, these politicians, they have already done their own. Oh. Our own is that we'll be chasing our own daily bread. So, sir, my own daily bread, the one that I'm here before you, this is the matter. And then you refocus. Keep it conversational. So, what's the goal with all these things I'm saying? The goal is this. Hopefully, if you're able to implement this, your sales cycle should become shorter. A sales cycle is the length of time between when somebody says, "Good morning, sir," and then the person transfers you a deposit. If you sell cars, the sales cycle is the length of time from when the person sends you a DM to say, "Do you have Mercedes-Benz C300, 2026 model?" And then the time when the person now transfers the deposit to buy the car. That's the sales cycle. If you do all of this well, scheduling advancements, getting the agenda ahead of time, stuff like that, your sales cycle will shrink. It won't take too long before you close deals. And then you make more money over time. If your sales cycle is 6 months, let me explain it this way. If your sales cycle is 6 months, then the best that can happen is okay, this is a ridiculous example, but let me just give it anyway. But it's a ridiculous example. I'm just trying to oversimplify it. If your sales cycle is 6 months, then assuming you can only talk to one person at a time, that's why I say this is ridiculous, because usually we'll be talking to several people. But assuming we can only talk to one person at a time, just to make this example simple enough to understand, if your sales cycle is 6 months, you can only close 2 deals in a year. The best you can do is 2 deals in a year. But if your competition has figured out a way to shorten the sales cycle from 6 months to 3 months, while you can only close 2 deals in a year, then your competition, because he has brought the time down from 6 months to 3 months, 3 into 12, that's 4. Theoretically, your competition can close 4 deals in a year. You can only close 2. What's the difference? You don't know how to close a deal in less than 6 months. The other guy knows how to close a deal in 3 months. Because he can close a deal in 3 months, quick reps. He will start in January, close in March, pick up in April, close in July, pick up in August, like that. Quick. You start in January, and then you will close in, is that June? Abi? 06 June. You start in January, close in June. Then you start in July, close in December. So shortening your sales cycle actually is a good thing because it means turnover, quick turnover. Then you have greater efficiency in your meetings. Your meetings are shorter, your meetings are much more focused, and you have the next clear step, and you stop facing the frustration that this my salesperson is facing, because every time she talks to Madam Kemi, Madam Kemi will finish her credit. She will call back, she will finish her own credit, but still they're not making progress. Madam Kemi know they buy. Madam Kemi has not paid. Madam Kemi has not put down deposit. Sorry, excuse me. Then you'll also increase your authority. You handle meetings like this, after a while, you gain a reputation. People just know that, oh, this guy, that's that sharp guy. This babe, that's a very sharp babe. Professional here, as in she's a professional. You get a nice professional aura about you. People look at you one kind, your status will be high. Elevate your status. Because you're not an anyhow kind of somebody. So summary, forgive me, been going on for 30 minutes. What I've just been trying to say is, look, in handling these meetings, you take the lead, you take the initiative. Try and gain advancements. Try and decide what the agenda for the next meeting is going to be. Try and decide what the timing of the next meeting is going to be. Try and do that within the last 5, 10, 15 minutes. An agenda is an asset because the agenda keeps us on track. Stop ending meetings without having the next agenda on the table or the next time on the table. So, if you're a woman and you go home and your husband asks you, How did your business meeting go? Well, the fact that the person said, let's check back, let's circle back after management retreat, or let's revisit this when the minister is back in town, or let's touch base after Salah, or Halami, or this is your WhatsApp number, yeah? Okay, I'll be in touch. The fact that the meeting ended like that does not mean it was a good thing. It doesn't mean it was bad either, but we don't have any reason to show that was a good meeting. So, if you're a woman and you want to tell your husband that, oh yeah, this was a solid meeting, and if you're a boy, you want to impress your girlfriend that you're a short collar, you're a businessman, the only way that you can beat your chest for sure and know that this was a good meeting is if you finished that meeting, you secured an advancement, you secured the agenda. Then honestly, you can tell your babe or tell your husband that, well, the meeting, I'm not sure. I think it went really well. But at least I've been able to move us to the next step. That's it. If you're moving it forward one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time, eventually you get there. Should be they say the journey of 1,000 steps, Abby? The journey of a mile begins with one step. It's like that. Step by step by step. Back to the dating thing. Back when we were in university and the body was hot and love was hot. Yeah, eventually you marry her. But right now, it's about making it to the next date. We had this date was good. We had the next date, then the next date, then the next date, then the next date. And then you now start sending people Ivy. To God be the glory. We're getting married. So it's like that. So just as you consummate personal relationships, now the same way, you go to consummate business relationship. Everything step by step, in its own stead. Alright, so that's it. Thanks for your time and attention. If you'd love to connect with me, you can call me, send me a text message or a WhatsApp message on 080-6466-2140. So thanks for your time and attention. And apologies, I beg. Like I said, I'm on the mend right now, but I don't want to wait until I'm completely healed before I keep making podcast episodes because I can't say I'm going to disappear for another week. So I beg no vex. You might hear more sniffles in the next podcast recording. But yeah, anyway, that's it. But either way, I'm happy that the rains are here because Abuja's heat was becoming unbearable. So I'll catch you all some other time.